Have you ever wondered what truly drives the profits of businesses, or why some individuals accumulate vast wealth while others struggle, even after working long hours? Karl Marx explains exploitation primarily through the concept of surplus value. This core idea posits that exploitation occurs when workers produce more value than they receive in wages, with the excess or surplus value being appropriated by the capitalist. At its heart, this explanation rests on Marx's labor theory of value. This theory asserts that the value of any commodity is determined by the socially necessary labor time required to produce it. When a worker is employed, they sell their labor power, which is their capacity to work, not their actual labor. The capitalist pays for this labor power based on what is needed for the worker to sustain themselves and reproduce their labor, essentially covering their cost of living. However, the worker then labors for a longer duration than is strictly necessary to produce value equivalent to their wages. This extra time, during which they create additional value beyond what they are paid, is what Marx calls surplus labor time. The value generated during this surplus labor time is the surplus value, which the capitalist takes as profit. This mechanism is central to understanding how profit is generated in a capitalist system, not from exchange, but from the production process itself. Understanding surplus value helps us analyze capitalist dynamics by illustrating how profits are inherently tied to the exploitation of labor. For example, when capitalists invest in machinery, known as constant capital, they are doing so to increase the productivity of labor, or variable capital. This often allows for more surplus value to be extracted from each worker, even if individual wages remain as stable or slightly increase. The drive to maximize this surplus is a fundamental impulse within capitalism, leading to innovations but also intensifying labor. This concept reveals that the capitalist system, by its very design, relies on this extraction of unpaid labor. It is not about individual malice but rather the structural relationship between capital and labor. The process creates a constant pressure to reduce wages, increase working hours, or enhance productivity through technology, all aimed at expanding the portion of value that accrues to the capitalist rather than the worker. Therefore, surplus value offers a profound lens through which to understand class relations and the inherent contradictions within capitalism. It shows that the wealth accumulated by capitalists originates directly from the difference between the value workers create and the value they receive, making exploitation a foundational characteristic of the system rather than a mere side effect.